I got involved in politics and policy work because of education. I came to the US when I was like around 15, 15 and a half, like not 16 yet, and immigrated here to the United States in Minnesota. And I started school for the first time. I went to 4 years, I then Prairie High School, and then I went 4 years at the University of Minnesota. So for me, one of the things I learned was there was a little of like inequity and like how schools are funded. Because of that, I get into politics, I get into organizing, and my goal was always to either work with people who can advance more equitable policies, especially in education. So that way, the kids in inner cities to the, suburban areas, like they have like equal opportunity for education. My proudest moment of that would be, I would say education, whether it's like educating the policymakers or what the community is experiencing, or educating the community about policies. I always saw myself as more of like the bridge builder between policymakers, the community, and like figuring out what is needed for those in power to make good decisions and what is needed for community to know to be empowered. My goal always has been to advance those kind of like, equity policies, especially in education, housing, immigration. Those are things I care about. And I was like, I have to take the personal courage and the risk to run for office because I thought that was kind of like my calling. I'm like, there's time to work for others, then there's time to advance the policies, and there's time like to step up. Overall, it was a very successful campaign. I think all the things I ran for were on point, and I had so much support, which I couldn't even be thankful for. Like so many people supporting me, so that was amazing. What attracted me to Fusion work was the kind of like, the government, public service, or the private and the community connections. I feel like that is where, I can provide, ideas, and that's where my passion is. For me, it's more of like who they helping, who they working with, and the people and the community that they're serving. So at Great Minnesota Schools, we are, a small nonprofit organization that's based in Minneapolis. And we believe that, great schools are the best that can teach every student. Like if we provide great schools to every kid in Minneapolis, they will succeed in life, not only in school, but also beyond school. We have the community partnership, which the work I'm heading or leading at the Great Minnesota Schools, which focuses, like partnering with organizations and community members that are serving or working directly with families. So my goal is like, again, to connect Fusion to these organizations, to the communities, to these families, so they know about the services and the work of Fusion. Sometimes people think about only technology, we don't think about it, but I think innovation is more of like ideas, new things, like what people need that time, like who comes up with a solution to the problem that's happening at that time in the community. Who can I bounce ideas with at Fusion or somewhere else? And also like who can I reach out to in the community to know about what is happening. Of course, I'm going to be biased. I work in education. I read this about all the time. I think the technology gap, especially with students with low-income students of color, and in education, like these gaps have been there before, but I think 2020 just exposed them to higher level. I love running or walking, just enjoy the nature. Um, I train for marathon without music or anything, so I just run 20 miles without listening to anything. So I think that's a lot of times people give that expression of like, what? How do you run 20 miles without listening to anything? I'm like, I listen to the birds, I listen to the trees, I listen to the nature. If I actually listen to something, I do get tired and I don't actually get trained well. So I play basketball. I actually play like soccer. Like I play like random sports, a lot of them. I have 3 kids. They are most beautiful thing that ever happened to me. So like, we enjoy time together, and getting to know them and just playing with them. And I do everything I do because, of course, because of them. Nelson Mandela, education is the weapon you can use to change the world. I think I am 100% believer of that. You know, like again, just going back to my own story of not having education when I was, when I was a child, and like see how that opened my eyes when I got education and how I connected to people, to issues I care about. I think like nobody can take away that from me, right?